Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the Book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I've read this week is this one. It's called The Troubled Deep by author Rob Parker. It was released as a hardback edition here in the UK on the 16th of January 2025 by Raven Books, and it's the first of what I guess will probably be a series of the Cam Killick Norfolk mysteries. Viewers probably know the author for his previous books, featuring Ben Bracken, the 30 Miles books, but this is a new character, and as I said, it's based in Norfolk. Most of us will have been to a pub quiz at one time or another where some comedian have called their team Norfolk in chance. Well, in this case, it does. It's a very atmospheric book set in Norfolk. So less of the waffle cliff. What's it all about? Cam Killick is a diver. He's ex-SBS, Special Boat Service, which are an elite force that work on the water rather than the better-known SAS that work on the land. But he's been pensioned out. He's suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. He's got anxiety. He's managed to get himself a home in Norfolk. He likes Norfolk. There's the Norfolk Broads. He's comfortable because he's at his happiest when he's either in or preferably underneath the water. So he's bought a cottage called his converted barn called Haven Cottage in Netishead, and he's making a living as a freelance diver. He's finding things that have been lost in the water, be it valuables, whatever. Still misses his life in the service, but he's medicated, so he's slightly dumbed down a bit to deal with PTSD. But one thing that's always bothered him while he's been in Norfolk is the mystery of the Brindley family. The Brindley family disappeared nearly 40 years ago. It's 1987. The family were Freddie, Maud, Tommy and Hannah. Freddie was what would be called nowadays a wealth manager. He managed money for very wealthy clients. His wife Maud lived with him, and also his two children, Tommy and Hannah. They lived in a place called Brindley Hall, which was originally called Feather House, but renamed by the Brindley. Freddie Brindley was a larger-than-life character. Maud, his wife, quite quiet. Children got on together. Tommy, the boy, looked after his younger sister Hannah, and they were a close family. Tommy and Hannah didn't get invited to too many of the grand parties that Freddie and Maud were invited to, but occasionally they did. Until one night in 1987, the Brindley family, in Freddie's pride and joy, his green Jaguar, disappeared, never to be found. It's an age-old mystery, and the working assumption was that maybe they've crashed on the way home from a posh party, which they know was the last time they were seen, but the car's never been found. So Cam is determined to find this. It's just one of these things he has to do. And he's worked out by looking at old maps and using his knowledge as a diver of where a car would be difficult to find in the Broads and where it wouldn't. And he's tried various sites. One day he's out with his dog Nala. He's got a converted van where he's got all his diving kit in it. And he says to Nala, right, you sit there while I just dive down here. And he goes to a place, and I can't even find it. It's called Hickling Broad. And sure enough, he sees a number plate on a green Jag. And lo and behold, he's found Freddie Brindley's Jag. You would think this would be a good thing, and he contacts. He's got one contact in the police. She's DS Claire Rogers, who actually knew Tommy as a girl. They were in Scouts together. So whilst this is a cold case, a very cold case, she's still got an interest in it. So he's been basically bothering her, trying to get information. But as far as the police are concerned, the bodies were never found. And this is truly a mystery, because the car was never found, the bodies were never found. Nobody knows why the Brindley family disappeared. So he contacts DS Claire Rogers, and an investigation is reopened again. Very soon, the police decide that there's nothing to see here. The mystery's solved. The car's been found. The bodies presumably have decomposed after all this time. Nothing to see here. And Cam is sort of scratching his head thinking, hang on, this doesn't ring true. Something's going on here because, where are the bodies? What happened to them? Why did they go into the Broads? Why did a rich, well-to-do family disappear like this? There's loads of questions that need answering, and the police don't seem to be that keen on answering them. Also tied in with Cam's discovery of the green Jaguar and the number plate, he gets a visit from some thugs, and it becomes very clear to Cam that there are a lot of people that are hiding things and have got secrets, and they don't want those secrets unveiled and revealed. So thus the tale unfolds, and it's a tale where Cam finds himself in great danger, and he's got the balance of, it's because of the meds he's taking for his PTSD, he feels dumbed down a bit, and he's trying to ease himself off of those because he knows he needs to be fit and sharp, because clearly a lot of people have had their feathers ruffled by this car being found and the mystery of the Brindleys being talked about and opened again. And we have a plethora of everybody from politicians, from police officers to criminals, all interested in this murder. And all of a sudden, Cam's in a whole lot of trouble. He's working with DS Claire Rogers, and he's also working, and it wouldn't be a modern day thriller without a couple of podcasters. He's working with a couple of podcasters called Gupta and Ferris, who are true crime podcasters, and they've got a podcast called Norfolk Unexplained. And they too are interested in the mystery of the Brindley family. So this is a really good book. I really enjoyed it. 353 pages. Read it in 2 sessions. But I very often criticise some authors where you get lots of descriptive prose and it's unnecessary. In this case, it's very atmospheric. You get the nature of the Broads. The Broads themselves, there are marshes, there are hidden places, there are mysteries, and there are lots of tales associated with the Broad, and that actually, brings the mystery to life. We've got an engaging character with Cam, the central character, who's a bit of a broken guy. He's worked in the military, he's got PTSD, and he's trying to get a balance of, reducing his meds somewhat so that he can be sharp. And he realises that when he's actually on the case here, and he is like a dog with a bone, he wants to get to the bottom of the Brindley mystery, he actually feels alive again. So it's getting that balance. So really good mystery, little twist right at the end. I'd recommend it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure we'll see another adventure for Cam Killick, because this was lots of moving parts, lots of people involved, plenty of action. Certainly, if you're a fan of Lee Child, Jack Reacher, read this. You'll enjoy it, because whilst he's not a complete copy of Reacher, it's a Reacher-esque character, i.e. one man against the world. Really, and one determined man against the world, I should add. So I really enjoyed it. I'd give it 8 out of 10. It's one of the best books I've read so far this year. So I think probably that's it for this week's brief book review. Good read. As I said, 353 pages. Good mystery. You'll be guessing till right at the end what on earth's going on here. Well worth a read. So that's it for this week's brief book review. Thanks for watching. 10/10 till we do it again.